Okay, it is 10:21 a.m. and I want to go over the morning a bit. I did have two trades with NWBO and I really didn't like the way this one was trading today, and for that reason I'm probably going to stay away from it unless it does something clean, but it just hasn't been doing anything clean. It's been kind of ugly the way it trades, but in the morning I was watching NWBO for a morning panic bounce play and I didn't like how it reached the bottom here and then it just shot up pretty close to VWAP, and that kind of threw me off, but I was still watching it and the price action was good. It was showing a lot of topping action, but I think what made me upset was that I was looking at NWBO and I was focused on considering a morning panic bounce play trade with NWBO, and that kind of made me, I think it's MJWL. Yeah, it made me miss out on this. And this is like one of the most profitable setups I've ever seen. A stock that has like a massive gap down, a morning panic bounce play, but it has a gap down. And this one was down. I think it was almost close to 100% down on the day, because at some point, as you can see, it wasn't even, yeah, it was not even trading at the third level. Then that's crazy. And I wish I could have bought it right here when it was at this sub penny 30 level. I had a chance to do it because, I had the gap down, I had a downtrend, and now I was starting to uptrend and get a move towards VWAP. And I could have bought it when it was at this level here with NJWL. And I did get the 10, or I guess 1 penny, which was a triple. I wouldn't have traded that much money because of how speculative it is, but I would have liked it if I was a part of it. That was a pretty nice move towards the upside right there. And I do regret missing that and watching NWBO instead, because this thing just traded all ugly. And then there were two other ones. This one also had one, although it's not as nice because this one, has traded around this range before. And this one didn't have like really good volume. And then the other one, this one is better and it has more volume, but I liked MJWL more. But this one also did the same thing where it had a gap down right from the other day, and then it started the uptrend. And I could have taken a buy here too, but I was looking more at MJWL. And this was also a nice move from this 7 level to 15, so a double right there. And I've been watching this back and forth between this one and MJWL on the other screen. Maybe like it can do this uptrend, it downtrends, it gets to VWAP, it holds VWAP, and then it starts to turn around. I've been interested in it a few times, but it hasn't really been able to do it because there is this big seller at this sub penny 12 level, and it really hasn't allowed it to turn around. And I don't really have that much data as to whether it's gonna actually potentially do something like that, and maybe it might even try the day high, but I don't know. I might trade a very speculative size just to learn from the price action and see how it works here. SYXX did offer some opportunities. I just don't like where it is on the chart and how ugly this one trades. At least NWBO is going over a pattern. Wow, SYXX is kind of being weird, but I did trade it twice. Um, Today is the day that I'm trying a $20 risk level, and at 9:58 I was in 150 shares at 72.92 right here. I never traded it here because it was looking like too much topping price action. I didn't get the opportunity to trade it here because it just jumped to the price action. And I did consider it here thinking, okay, it did this range, it broke it, and they got near the low, and now even had a few wicks. Maybe at this point is when it's going to turn around, and the level 2 also supported it at the time. But I did get out of it at 10 o'clock at 72.33. That was my average, which was right here, 72.33. I got it right here when it looked like it was starting the downtrend and break the day low right here, and that was my goal to get out if it was going to start breaking that level. And I did really good, as you can see, cutting the trade, because imagine if I decided to be an idiot and not cut the trade when my plan was. And this thing fell pretty hard. It was pretty impressive the way it just downtrended. It did break the trend line eventually here, but I didn't like this sketchy freaking price action. And what I wanted it to do was that it was going to drop, bounce like it did here, a bit of a exaggerative bounce, and then maybe it kind of drops back and makes like a higher low off of this official bottom, then I would have been very happy and I would have traded my proper amount of size. But at the same time, it doesn't have to do it, and it was also trying really hard to stay up here. So I thought, why don't I just buy 50 shares? And then if it is a top right here and it makes the bottom that I wanted to, and it's a higher low, or maybe a double bottom, of course, if it breaks the day low, then I'll cut it. And then I'll add the 100 shares if it, if it doesn't break the day low and it bottoms and it plays around this level again. But let me also have 50 shares so that if it keeps going, I didn't miss it out completely. So at 10:14, I was in 50 shares at 639 right here. 639 was when I got in at 10:14. Yeah, right around here is when I got in. I just really hated this price action. It was looking like way too much topping action. I did get out at 10:15 at 6439. Right here, 6439 is when I got out. And yeah, it did downtrend a little bit. And now it's trading back and forth with a spread, so it's not nice anymore, but it is doing the morning panic bounce play just really ugly. And that's why I didn't give it much money in the second trade, because I wanted it to get in at a better price, and this thing just wasn't really offering that, so I didn't trade it for that reason. But that's the case with NWBO. I'll keep watching to see. Okay, now there's more sellers at 12. I might consider trading it if it looks like it's just about to break 12. A pretty small size, and that's really about it. I think overall I did my best. And in the future, the lesson is learned. I will focus on a gap down morning panic bounce play over a regular morning panic bounce play, because this was a pretty nice move, even though I wouldn't have traded that many shares because of how speculative that setup is. I'll make an update later, but this is what I have for right now. Okay, it is 11:19 and I want to make an update. AWH is a uptrending listed stock. There's nothing I really want to do with it right now. Maybe if it drops considerably under VWAP and it does something clean, I'll consider it. But looking at it the way it is right now, there isn't anything I really want to do with it. It isn't that nice looking, and I'm really happy, as with NWBO, that I did try that partial position of 50 shares back at 10:14, which was right here, because it did ultimately end up making a move towards the upside, and it didn't come back near that level that I wanted it to trade off of, so I think that was pretty fine for what that was. And maybe I could have tried to sell half of those 50 shares and then try to hold on to the other half. Perhaps I could have done something like that, but considering the fact that I'm trying to trade a $20 risk, well, it turns out that I was pretty off. I should have had much more size on both of these trades right here with NWBO, so I'll try to be better with that. It was just that last week I traded 150 shares and that equaled $20 risk level, so I thought it was going to be the same case. It actually wasn't. So yeah, a few things I could have done better. And as for ICOA, right, it did get to 14, but the problem was is that the ask was at 14 and the bid never lifted up from 12. So if I were to have been in it at 11, sure, I could have sold at 12, which would have been cool, but it didn't get much higher. It didn't break the day high or anything like that. So that is what that is, and I will make an update later, but I don't think there's anything I'm going to trade anymore unless I see something super clean. Alright, it is 10:04 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I am down on the day just a little bit, 63 cents, trading NWBO twice. And I think what I can try to do with NWBO and any other morning panic bounce play in the future in general, maybe what I can do is not just be in the situation where I wanted to, maybe in this case, I wanted it to come back near the day low and then hold that and then uptrend. Maybe what I could do is perhaps take a full size position and think, all right, well, that sucks. The price action sucks. It's going to uptrend a very sketchy way, if that's how the stock tends to trade. And I'm going to be in my full size position, maybe not at the best point, because again, I missed this ultimate turnaround because it was very quick the way it did it. But if it does come back near the day low and it breaks it, it fails, then I'll cut the trade for a loss. But if it actually does what I wanted to do and it comes back near the day low, because I've seen this happen more often than not and be super profitable, that's when I could potentially take into the consideration the idea of going in twice the amount of size, and then it's going to work out, and then I'll be that much more profitable. I was going to be profitable if it were to have worked right then and there, like it did here, and I was going to be profitable if it were to have, again, gotten near the level here. And if it breaks a day low, as long as I'm trading according to my dollar risk level, I think that will be totally fine. I actually was interested in buying the VWAP breakout, but I was interrupted, so I wasn't able to. But there's no way for me to prove that. But I wanted to throw that out there because I did try that with that other stock NLST the other week, and that setup ended up working, and it wasn't the most ideal setup because it wasn't like a proper OTC like NWBO is here. But I will continue to watch NWBO. It kind of reminds me, as you can see, this daily chart right here. It kind of reminds me of SYXX, where it had a little wick towards the bottom of this level that it was holding. And NWBO just kind of has a wick towards the bottom after it was trying to hold this range. Not as nice as SYXX, but I'll be watching this for a reversal setup, and maybe this thing can make a really nice move towards the upside and play around VWAP. That was really it with PIXY. There wasn't anything I didn't want to trade there, and nothing really with SYXX. It was kind of okay in the morning, but it was kind of weird. This one sold off, unfortunately, and that's really about it. I do like this uptrend here. I kind of broke past this 240 level, but this one does trade a bit strange. Again, I still regret missing out on the, morning panic gap down setup. That was super profitable, really massively profitable. I wish I was a part of this, but at least it was for a good reason. It wasn't because I was hesitating or anything, but it was because I was focused on another stock. And ICOA did get as high as 13. It didn't do much more. Seems like it does run out of momentum eventually, just like MJWL did, but I think that was a pretty good setup. And again, in the future, if I see a gap down morning panic bounce play, I'm going to prioritize that over a regular morning panic bounce play. And yeah, that's all I have for today. And I also need to work on trading a proper $20 risk level. I seem to have been off on those two NWBO trades, so I need to take that into consideration as well.